نعم. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. The Shaykh goes on and he mentions هذا موضوع الحديث هنا, that the subject of the talk here is إن الواجب على كل مسلم ومسلمة نحو ما أمره الله تبارك وتعالى به أمور سبعة عظيمة. He says that indeed that which is an obligation, what is expected from every single Muslim male and female, as it relates to what Allah Ta'ala has commanded him or her concerning these affairs, are 7. There are 7 affairs that are expected. 7 affairs, sab'a. 7 affairs that are expected from the person. 7 degrees, 7 levels, 7 issues, a checklist rather, if we want to say it in that particular way.
Interesting conversation with the Caucasian one who will be coming next month, inshallah.
MashaAllah. وين القهوة؟
تريد؟
قهوة مو موجودة ها؟
لا إن شاء الله.
Naam, it's 7 issues. طيب, as you see on your paper in front of you, 7 issues. Barakallahu feek akhi. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. And Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad ibn Wahhab rahimahullah ta'ala, he explained these very clearly. He explained them very clearly and in a beneficial way that leaves no room for any type of misunderstanding. He explained them in a very summarized way, but at the same time not taking away from anything from them, but also not lengthening the issue to where you lose the people. It's not a very detailed text. It's something that can be understood. It's something that can be actualized by all. قال رحمه الله تعالى إذا أمر الله العبد بأمر وجب عليه فيه 7 مراتب. الأولى العلم به، الثانية محبته، الثالثة العزم على الفعل، الرابعة العمل، الخامسة كونه يقع على المشروع خالصا صوابا، السادسة التحذير من فعل ما يحبطه، السابعة الثبات عليه. Shaykh al-Islam rahimahullah ta'ala Muhammad ibn Wahhab, he mentioned whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands his servant with something, then 7 stages or 7 levels or 7 issues concerning these things as a checklist, if you will, become an obligation upon the servant regarding these things. Whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala إذا أمر الله العبد بأمر وجب عليه فيه 7 مراتب, whenever Allah ta'ala commands the servant with something, then it becomes an obligation upon him to deal with this command in 7 levels. In 7 levels. And this is muhim jiddan. How many of us actually take the time to look at the affair from this angle? This is a very tremendous, beneficial risala from the Shaykh. It's so beneficial. It's something that, al-ilm, nur, like knowledge is light. Knowledge is that which, when you achieve and you understand things clearly from this way, and you are taken out of the darkness, it's like a breath of fresh air. When you can be able to, someone can give you some information like this. Sahih? What is it upon me? What is an obligation upon me? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded me to do something, now I'm being taught and it's being shown to me something to clarify and to help me in actually carrying out the command of Allah Azza wa Jal. Al-ula al-ilmu bi. The first thing is what? This is a given. We should all know this. Al-ilm qabla ish qabla al-qawli wal-amal. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Al-ilm qabla al-qawl wal-amal. Alright? So the first one, al-ula al-ilmu bi, is actually having knowledge of that thing. Al-thaniya mahabbatuhu. Secondly is loving it. So it's not just about having knowledge of it, but secondly it is loving that thing. Thirdly it is al-azmu al-fi'l. It is having a determination and a conviction to actually do that action. So this is before the action is even done. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kayf haluk? Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah. Ahlan wa sahlan. Al-ilmu bi, al-mahabba, al-azm, al-fi'l. This is before the action is even done. Knowledge of that action, loving the action in of itself, and having an azm, having a conviction or a resolve and determination to carry out the action. R.E.D.A, then al-amal, then doing the action. So now we have that which is those issues of al-umur qabliya wal-umur al-ba'diyya. Those affairs that come before the action and affairs that come after the action. Before the action is ilm, al-mahabba wal-azm. And then after the action, khamisa afwan, قَوْنُهُ يَقْوَ عَلَى الْمَشْرُوعِ خَالِصًا وَصَوَابًا. That the action is done, and it is done and performed, and it should not be on your paper, this is a typo, perfumed, but it should be performed. And if we want to say, okay, we'll give the person the benefit of the doubt, yes, you can also perfume your action, and you can make a embellishment of your action by what? By sincerity and it being correct. Right? This also makes the act, this embellishes the action, right? But of course, this is a typo. But that it is performed sincerely and correctly. يعني خالصا وصوابا. السادسة التحذير من فعل ما يحبطه. Being cautious, being aware. Warning here meaning warning yourself, warning your own soul of doing anything that will nullify and cause this action to be invalidated. السابعة الثبات عليه. And also, seventhly, or number 7, is remaining consistent upon that. Right? Remaining consistent upon that until what? Until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes us and takes our soul and removes us from this dunya. So those are the 7 issues. طيب العلم به محبته العزم على الفعل على عمل قوله يقوى على المشروع خالصا وصوابا أو خالصا صوابا التحذير من فعل ما يحبطه الثبات عليه. طيب الشيخ عبد الرزاق رحمه الله تعالى says فهذه الأمور تود زبدة عظيمة وخلاصة نفيسة جدا ينبغي أن يؤتن بها عناية دقيقة. And Sheikh Abdul Razak Hafidhullah Ta'ala says these affairs are considered to be tremendous core affairs. These affairs are are considered to be tremendous core affairs. And they are like the core, they are like the crux of this matter. And these things are very valuable, very precious, very valuable. And it is a must that concern be given to these affairs in a detailed manner. The Shaykh brings 4 more issues connected to these 7. So now from these 7, which are the usul, you have 4 more issues that are furu'. And this is what you want to put in your notes, inshallah. Getting even deeper into this affair, Shaykh Abdul Razak, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, he says, one should concern himself with these affairs from the following 4 ways. أولا بحفظها. أولا بحفظها. Memorizing them. Memorizing these 7. If you want your ilm, your knowledge to become firmly rooted, memorizing is a very important aspect. Memorizing. ثانيا بفهمها. Secondly, understanding these 7 issues. Having fiqh, having fahm of these 7 issues. ثالثا, thirdly, بالعمل بها. Acting upon these 7 issues. And fourthly, بنشرها بين الناس. Spreading and propagating and teaching these issues to the people. Promoting these issues, these 7 issues. Teaching this to the people, teaching it to your children, teaching it to your wives, teaching it to your families. The next time a brother says in a masjid, brother, give a short kalima. Give some advice. Advise the people. Present these 7 issues to the people. It will be very beneficial to the people in the masjid. Present these 7 issues. Memorize them. You don't have to discuss them in detail with all of the adillah, Quranic ayats, ahadith. Just memorize these 7 issues. This is clear. No one can debate with these issues here. No Muslim with sound intellect and rational and a person who has a desire to reach the truth and to worship Allah, no one's going to debate with these issues here. This is something that we all can agree upon. No person don't say, I don't want to follow that, I'm Hanafi. I don't want to follow that, I'm Hanbali. I don't want to follow that, I'm this, I'm that. No. These are issues that we can all come to a common ground to understand. All of these 7. Correct or incorrect? Right? The people will benefit from this. ثم شرع رحمه الله تعالى في توضيحها توضيحا مختصرا بالمثال. Then the Shaykh rahimahullah ta'ala, Muhammad Abdul Wahhab, he began to explain each and every one of these 7, which is the topic of our discussion here. He began to explain each and every one of these in a very summarized manner, but to bring them clear to the people, what is intended by them. The Shaykh, he goes on and he mentions rahimahullah ta'ala, إذا عرف الإنسان أن الله أمر بالتوحيد ونهى عن الشرك أو عرف أن الله أحل البيع وحرم الربا أو عرف أن الله حرم أكل مال اليتيم وأحل لوليه أن يأكل بالمعروف إن كان فقيرا وجب عليه أن يعلم المأمور به ويسأل عنه إلى أن يعرفه ويعلم المنهي عنه ويسأل عنه إلى أن يعرفه. He goes on, he says, so when the human being or the individual, he knows that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has commanded the person or humanity and jinn rather to worship Him upon Tawheed, to be people who single out Allah Ta'ala alone in worship and do not commit any shirk. And He's prohibited shirk. Or the person, he knows and he understands that Allah Ta'ala has made buying and selling permissible, but He has made riba, interest-based transactions, impermissible. Or he knows that Allah Ta'ala has made unjustly consuming and utilizing the wealth of the orphan haram, and He has made it permissible for the person who is in charge and taking care of the orphan to eat from and to take from the wealth of the orphan in matters that are needed for that person if he's poor. Then it becomes an obligation upon him to do what? What does it become an obligation to do? To know what he has been commanded to do. And to question and ask and seek knowledge, to study. And to know to the point where he will begin to recognize and understand what it is that he should be doing. right? And to know that which is prohibited, and to ask about those things to the point so that he can gain understanding and recognition and knowledge of what it is that he's been commanded with, and understand and knowledge of what it is that he has been prohibited from. واعتبر ذلك بالمسألة الأولى وهي مسألة التوحيد والشرك. أكثر الناس علم أن التوحيد حق والشرك باطل ولكن أعرض عنه ولم يسأل. This is a tremendous affair here. He says, so the first issue is to be taken into consideration connected to the issue of at-tawheed and shirk. It says most of the people, they know that tawheed is the truth. Most of the people know that tawheed is the truth. And he says, and they know that shirk is batil. Shirk is falsehood. But they still turn away from it. They still make R.E.D.A anhu. And they don't seek knowledge, and they don't study, and they don't ask about it. And most people know that Allah Ta'ala has prohibited riba. But the person will still buy, وَبَاعَ وَاشْتَرَى وَلَمْ يَسْأَلْ. The person will still get involved in buying and selling, in business, and won't seek knowledge and won't try to gain an understanding of what is halal and what is haram in buying and selling. Do you think that's something that we should have knowledge of? Right? I bought something today. Right? I may not sell anything, but I am definitely a purchaser. Most of us, if we're not sellers, we're definitely what? Buyers and consumers. And we need to know even the actual prohibitions and that which is halal in buying, as well as selling. And many of the Muslims are people involved in the tijara. Right, Dawood? Huh? Involved in buying and selling merchandise, but they don't know anything about Islamic-based buying and selling, Islamic-based economics, and don't have any desire to study it. You come to the United States and buy and sell. I'm going to do what, right? As they say, in Rome, do as the Romans do. Have no knowledge of what's going on. And the person knows, many of the people know, tahrima aqli mal al-yatim, the prohibition of consuming the wealth of the orphan unjustly or without due right. Wa jawaz al-aql bil ma'ruf, and they know it's permissible to take from it of what is needed. Wa yatawalla mal al-yatim wa lam yas'al, and the person will take charge and take the responsibility of taking care of an orphan, but won't even seek knowledge and ask about what is the Islamic guidelines for me to take care of this orphan. وهكذا, and all different other issues like this. فالأمر الأول مما يجب علينا نحو ما أمرنا الله تبارك وتعالى به هو أن نتعلمه وهذا أول واجب وبه يبدأ ولهذا قال الله تعالى فاعلم أنه لا إله إلا الله واستغفر لذنبك فبدأ بالعلم قبل القول والعمل. So the first affair, brothers and sisters, from that which is an obligation upon us, that which is required and expected of us as it relates to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that we study, is that we learn. The words that I'm reading now is from the statements of Sheikh Abdul Razak Ibn Abdul Muhsin, the Mu'alliq ala hadhihi al-risala, the one who is commenting on this text. He says, وَهَذَا أَوْلُ وَاجِبٍ. This is the first thing that is an obligation upon us. And this is what should be began with. Allah Ta'ala says in Surah Muhammad, ayah 19, فَعْلَمْ, K-N-O-W, a command, so know that nothing deserves the right to be worshipped but Allah, and seek forgiveness for your sins. So Allah Ta'ala began this particular statement here in this command with knowledge before statements and actions. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَتَعَلَّمْ ما أمره الله تبارك وتعالى به ولم يتعلم ما نهاه الله تبارك وتعالى عنه كيف يفعل المأمور به. هذا سؤال مهم. صحيح? سؤال مهم جدا. He says, so the person who does not study what Allah Ta'ala has commanded him with, does not seek knowledge, does not try to learn what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has commanded him with, and he does not study and try to learn what Allah, he has not studied or tried to learn what Allah Ta'ala has prohibited him from, how is he going to do what he's been commanded? How? Kaif? This is a question to us, to the floor, to our older brothers in the back. Most of the time you're going to do what? Wrong, right? You're going to do wrong. Tayyib? Yes. It all depends. It all depends. In the matter bin niyat, it's going to be all depends, right? But the fact of the matter is that which a person is commanded to do. For example, we're going to bring this to a practical example. You enter a new profession or a new job, and you've been given an order to do this work. An amr, right? An order from your supervisor. You have no idea whatsoever what is required of you to carry out this particular order and to do this job. We're not saying something that you already have knowledge of, a profession. There's another job. You go and take a job, right? You come to the job site and you've been given an amr. You've been given an order to carry out a specific job duty, a job requirement. The first thing that you need to do is what? Understand what is expected from you and required of you, what is needed for you to carry out this order. If you have no knowledge of it whatsoever, how are you going to do the job? How are you going to do the job? You can't do it. Right? You can't do it. Yes, but
there are some people, for example, in a Muslim country,
Mm-hmm.
they don't speak Arabic, they learn the Quran and they memorize the Quran,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't know the meaning of any word in the Quran. And they like to read it, that they feel to get some reward from
Mm-hmm.
God. How does that work? Because they are doing something, really they don't know really. They know Quran, but really when they don't know the meaning. So
Tayyib. That's a good question. He says that some people, they memorize Quran, as well as even Muslim countries, maybe non-Arabic speaking Muslim countries. They memorize Quran and they become hufad al-Quran, and they recite the Quran, and they worship by way of their recite, draw near to Allah. It's sincere people. There'll be people of Sunnah. They don't know Quran. They don't know the Arabic language. So he says that, and they don't know what's being said. They don't know what word in it or anything that's going on. Is this something you want to know? Is this something that's good?
yeah. How? Because they try their best, but really they don't.
From one aspect, it is excellent.
Yeah.
Right? Because we know even the recitation of the Quran, every harf, if they have sincerity, and they are people who are trying to follow the Sunnah, but they don't understand what they're saying, they're going to be rewarded for that. They're going to get the hasanat for every single letter. Now, what is the negative aspect of that is by not knowing what you're saying is not going to get you to allow you to really benefit from the Quran in the way that Allah intended for it to be benefited from, because it was sent down to be understood, to be pondered upon. If you don't understand it, you can't ponder upon it. You can't reflect upon it. You pass by verses that may be talking about the adhab. There's no way that you can really feel the fear for punishment. Or verses talking about the mercy and Jannah, and you might not be able to feel and contemplate, Jannah, and draw the verses talking about the greatness of Allah, His names and His attributes, and all of these things, and it may be difficult for you to reach that level of understanding. Right? So this is the negative aspect of that. But if they're striving to learn and they memorizing and they're reciting and they're trying to do good and they're living a righteous life, then we say that this is a good thing, and we hope that Allah Ta'ala rewards them tremendously for this action.
There is one thing really related to the personal. There is one question. it is the subject right now you are talking about, to know something before you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one time I was in small village, but I knew Quran, but I didn't know the meaning of it.
Yeah.
And I saw some people who are fasting, optional fasting.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking about it. I said, I need to fast too. I want to do something good. But the day I picked it up to fast was a Friday.
Okay. Okay.
Because I felt that Friday is one of the best, in my opinion.
Yeah, see? Subhanallah.
In my opinion.
Subhanallah.
But after that, I found that, optional prayer, you cannot start with it,
No.
right. But after many years, after I was fasting for all the time, that's the only day that I picked up.
Yeah.
So I feel like right now what you are talking about
Yes.
is really related.
Knowledge before action is very important because, again, and this shows us the beauty of revelation. It shows us the beauty of that which came down from Allah and the guidance of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because as human beings, what we feel or we think sometimes, we think it to be correct is incorrect. And it's definitely important to make sure that we don't put our intellect and our own understanding over what? Over the revelation. Because you felt Yawmul Jumu'ah, right? It's a blessed day, a good day, yes, one of the best days of the week, right? The best day of the week. So you felt to start fasting every Friday, it was a good thing. And this is how innovations start, and this is how mistakes come into the religion, because we utilize our own understanding before the actual text itself. So what is very important as a qaida, as a principle, al-ilm qabla al-qawli wal-amal, is that we don't put forth an action of worship of Allah Ta'ala until we find out, can I do this? This is important. This is what ibadah. Ibadah, the principle for worship is what? Al-mana'. No, al-mana'. The worship, you cannot do worship. This is the asl of worship. Haram. Does it make sense? Look at what I'm saying. The origin of worship is prohibited. Any action. The origin of it is that you can't not do it. Until what? Until you find the permissibility or the text from the book and the sunnah that says you can do it. So I just can't fast any way I want to, even though fasting is a great action. I can't pray any way I want to, even though prayer is from the greatest actions, right? Until I find out, can I do this on this day, at this time, in this place? Until I find that out, it's haram for me to do it. This is worship. On the opposite of that, everything outside of worship is permissible. Everything, right? Buying, selling, eating, drinking, clothing, right? Marriage, divorce, all of these particular things, right? From the mu'amalat are permissible until what? Until there comes a proof that say that you cannot do it. All food is lawful. All drink is lawful. All clothing is lawful. All women are lawful. All men are lawful for the women, right? And unless what? Until a verse comes to show, or hadith says this is prohibited. The Sharia comes and say this is prohibited. But naturally, Allah Ta'ala says what? هو الذي خلق لكم في الأرض هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا. هو الذي خلق لكم في الأرض جميعا. Right? He is the one who created everything in the earth for you. Right? Everything. That means the asl of everything is permissibility. So you can't come and say you cannot wear that shirt. Bring me proof. Right? You cannot come to me and say you cannot drink this coffee. Bring me proof why I can't drink coffee. You have to bring me proof. Tayyib? But worship, you see someone doing something, you can say, brother, I don't know anything about that. Where do you get that from? And the person has to do what? Or should. He should show you. This is why I'm doing this. This is proof why I'm doing this. Right? Tayyib. So again, now, this is what happens. So, may Allah Ta'ala accept those fasts from you. Tayyib. So the Shaykh says, فَكَمَا قِيلْ فَاقِدُ الشَّيْء لَا يُؤْتِي. that the person who has been deprived of something, the person who doesn't have something can't give it. You don't have knowledge, you can't give, you can't do anything, right? وَكَمَا كَيْفَ يَتَّقِي مَنْ لَا يَدْرِي مَا يَتَّقِي. Subhanallah. And as it is also said, how is a person going to protect himself from something in which he doesn't know he needs to protect himself from? كَيْفَ يَتَّقِي مَنْ لَا يَدْرِي مَا يَتَّقِي. How is the person going to protect himself, the one who doesn't even know what is he supposed to be protecting himself from? He can't. Right? وَلِهَذَا أَوْلُ وَاجِبٍ عَلَيْنَا نَحُوَ مَا أَمَرَنَا اللَّهُ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى بِهِ أَن نَتَعَلَّمَهُ. So therefore, the first thing that is an obligation upon us concerning these affairs that Allah Ta'ala has commanded us with is that we learn and we study and we seek knowledge. Very important. It takes an effort, and he goes out with the intent of trying to learn something about his religion. Aisha Natija, what is the outcome of that? Allah will make his path to Jannah easy for him. Allah will make his path to Jannah easy for him.
That's what we are doing today, I think.
Repeat it again.
That's what we are doing today, I think.
What we're doing today.
Yeah.
We left our homes early in the morning.
Yeah.
Very early in the morning. This was a difficult one for me, I must admit, right? I have reached, you know what I mean, fi safarina hada nasaba, as Musa said, right? And so to Kahf, I reached, you know, some tiredness and difficulty on my travel because I got here about 1:20 a.m. and then we had to come here, you know, pray Fajr and then get some rest and come here at 9 a.m. So this was, you know, a little difficult on me. So forgive me if I'm not as sharp as I should be today. It's lack of sleep. No, but again, you know, I thank the brothers, not getting too far off the topic, I thank the brothers who invited me. It's a pleasure to come down here. I was definitely looking forward to seeing you brothers again who I met last time and to benefiting that we can learn something together, bi-idhnillahi azza wa jalla. So now, the person who sets out with the intent sincerely of seeking knowledge, what is the outcome? That Allah will make his path to Jannah easy for him. Because the path to Jannah is what? By way of obedience to Allah. The path to Jannah is being obedient to Allah, worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your being obedient to Allah and worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very difficult if you don't have knowledge. Let's take an example. Look at the people who commit innovations in the religion. Look at innovations in the religion. Is there not the fact that innovations in the religion is something that the people are doing that is more difficult than actually what the Prophet ﷺ came with and what Allah commanded us with? If you say, Ya akhi, in order to draw near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to sit and you have to make 100,000 tasbihat and 100,000 takbirat and 100,000 tahmidat and 100,000 tahlilat, right? Before sunrise. Every day. Akhi, this is difficult. This is difficult adhkar. This is difficult. Difficult. Right? It's difficult upon a person. And there's nothing that we find in the Quran and the Sunnah that has commanded us to do this. That if you do this, then this door of Jannah will be open for you, and this many sins will be taken away from you, and this will happen to you. No. Or in order for me to get near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like some of the people do, we have to go out and we have to we have to abuse ourselves. We have to beat ourselves on our back with chains until we become bloody. Is this an easy path to Jannah? No, it's not. And it's not easy. Why? Because it's filled with ignorance. It's filled with ignorance. An easy path to Jannah that I have to go and strap, and we're going to speak about modern day realities, that I have to put a bomb on a vest, and I have to take myself and go into this place, and not only kill non-Muslims, but also do and go kill Muslims. Is this an easy way to Jannah? They think it is, but no, it's this difficult path to Jannah. Because if Allah Ta'ala, based upon your ignorance, decides to forgive you, you're going to have to be accountable for what you did unjustly. For all of those people that you murdered, you're going to have to answer for that. Even though the people, many of them are ignorant that are doing it, and we pray to Allah Ta'ala, if they're people of Islam, then we pray to Allah Ta'ala, forgive them for their mistakes and ignorance. But you still have to stand in front of your Lord for those people that you innocently killed. Is this an easy path to Jannah? No. Why is it not easy? Because it's based upon ignorance. But an easy path to Jannah based upon knowledge, based upon kitab, based upon sunnah, is the first knowledge that we understand. The first knowledge that we understand, which is a very important matter of knowledge. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها ولا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما أتاها فاتقوا الله ما استطعتم إن الدين يسر ولا يشاد الدين ولا يشاد في الدين أو كما قال إلا غلبه. That Allah Ta'ala, He says He's not going to place any responsibility to do anything upon the person except what the person is what? Has the ability to do. He's not going to place the responsibility upon the person to give or to give out or to do anything except that which He has furnished the person with. So if I don't have money, Allah is not going to make me responsible for giving zakah. If I don't have the ability to pray standing, Allah is not going to make me pray standing. My prayer is not going to be considered to be invalid if I pray sitting. Fear Allah to the best of your ability. Have taqwa of Allah to the best of your ability, what Allah Ta'ala is giving you. Right? If I have not reached a level of knowledge where I can give fatwa, Allah Ta'ala is not going to make it a sin upon me that I can't give fatwa to the people. I haven't reached that level. I don't have the capability. I don't have the qualification. I don't have the tools to give fatwa. Allah is not going to cause me to be a sinner because I can't give fatwa. Or I can't answer a question. I haven't been given the knowledge. Fear Allah, have taqwa Allah to the best of your ability. Indeed, the religion is easy. Indeed, the religion is easy. And no one begins to make the religion difficult upon himself or herself except that the religion overtakes them, overburdens them. And they can't keep up. Tayyib. So again, whoever traverses a path by way of it, they're seeking knowledge. And of course, even the greatest of that even is to travel distantly. If one has the ability to sit and learn from scholars of Islam, if there are no scholars in your area, then Allah Ta'ala makes the path to Jannah easy for him. وَقَالُهُ عَلَيْهِ الصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ, as it also comes in a hadith collected by Bukhari and Muslim, on the authority of Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, مَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ بِهِ خَيْرًا يُفَقِّهُ فِي الدِّينِ. Whomever Allah Ta'ala wants good for him, then He gives him fiqh of the religion. Brothers, I know you're looking on this is just the actual matan or the text of the Risala. Basically, we are still on the first issue. So all of these lines that are connected to it, all of these lines, for example, we have reached the page. If you were to flip your pages, we have reached, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're dealing with the issues of page, from the first beginning, on page 4, I guess. Most people know that Islamic monotheism, Tawheed, is the truth. From the page, but those lines there, you can make some of your notes. For example, if I say that it comes in a hadith collected by Imam Muslim on the authority of Abu Huraira, maybe if you want to mention that hadith in your notes, where it can be found, or what Allah Ta'ala, what the Prophet ﷺ said, even if you put in your own wording, then whoever takes a path seeking by way of it knowledge, then Allah makes path to Jannah easy for him. If you want to make these and put these side points in your notes, this is what the notes and the lines are for on the paper. Tayyib. So this hadith here, it states that whomever Allah Ta'ala He wants good for him, He gives him understanding of the religion. He gives him understanding of the religion. وقد صح عن نبينا عليه الصلاة والسلام أنه كان يقول كل يوم بعد صلاة الصبح. And it's also been authenticated, collected by Imam Ibn Majah in his Sunan on the authority of Salama. And this hadith is authentic, that the Prophet ﷺ, he used to say every morning after Fajr, every morning, Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafiyan wa rizqan tayyiban wa amalan mutaqabbalan. The Prophet ﷺ used to say every morning after Fajr, and this could be after the taslim or before the taslim. Some of the scholars, they say that it could be done after the tashahhud and the Salatul Ibrahimiyya, right? And you say this dua. And it's important to supplicate even before you make taslim. And that is, oh Allah, indeed I ask you for beneficial knowledge and a good provisions, wholesome provisions, and action that is accepted. ويسأل الله تبارك وتعالى ذلك كل يوم وقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى له في القرآن وقل ربي زدني علما. And the Prophet ﷺ used to ask every day for this, acting upon the verse in the Quran where Allah Ta'ala commanded the Prophet ﷺ to say in Surah Al-Taha, and say, my Lord, increase me in knowledge. وَأَوَّلُ آيَةٍ نُزِلَتْ عَلَيْهِ اقْرَأ. And the first ayah that was sent down upon the Prophet ﷺ was what? Iqra, read. طيب. أمر بالقراءة وتعلم. And a command with what? Reading and learning. So notice here this dua. The Prophet ﷺ, he began with beneficial knowledge even before R.E.D.A. tayyib. Right? Listen to this. The Prophet ﷺ began with beneficial knowledge, and there's a reason behind this. This is not just a dua. We say, okay, the wording of it just put in that order for no reason whatsoever. He began with beneficial knowledge before righteous actions. Not righteous action, before rizq at-tayyib, before wholesome provisions. وَقَبْلَ الْعَمَلُ الصَّالِحِ أو الْعَمَلُ الْمُتَقَبَّلِ, and before righteous action or the action that is accepted. لأن العلم النافع هو الذي يميز به المسلم بين الرزق الطيب والخبيث. Brothers, pay close attention to this. The Shaykh, he says, Hafidhullah, why did the Prophet ﷺ begin with beneficial knowledge before al-rizq at-tayyib, before wholesome provisions? Anybody want to make a suggestion? Naam, Ibn Abdul Hakim. Huh? What'd you say? I couldn't hear.
Knowing how to.
Yes. Yes. No. Yes. طيب, ahsant. Naam. He says, because beneficial knowledge, it is that which the Muslim uses, your knowledge, uses to distinguish between what is rizq that is tayyib and what is rizq that is khabith. Beneficial knowledge. If you don't have beneficial knowledge, you're not going to be able to distinguish between what is provisions that are considered to be wholesome and what is provisions that are considered to be unwholesome. Right? And a khabith. طيب? And impure, or pure and impure. وَبَيْنَ الْعَمَلُ الصَّالِحِ وَغَيْرُ الصَّالِحِ. You're not going to know what is an action that is righteous